That's because you need to run for president.
Yeah.
I wanted to get on here and quickly talk about 2 viral videos I've seen making the rounds on political TikTok and Twitter. One is a clip of Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear saying why he doesn't like the way woke politics has gone and how he avoids that issue. Another is a clip of James Talarico, a Texas state rep, who in an interview with Joe Rogan dazzled him with sort of an uno reverso on certain Christianity-based arguments, and Joe Rogan then said that Talarico should run for president. Both of these clips are absolutely fine, and I understand why people are excited about them because it seems like Democrats are desperate to find their new messenger that's going to solve all of their problems. But that's not how these things work. Elections are won by coalitions, and yes, there are these once-in-a-lifetime candidates that inspire the country, but I feel like people miss that you need 2 things in politics. You need the power of conversion to win people over to your side, and you need your base that's already there and already excited and frankly does most of the work in elections. Now, I don't have an issue with either of these clips, but I want you to understand that this is not the panacea that people have been looking for in our politics today. Here's a clip of Talarico on Rogan.
Here's the biblical evidence to support the opinion of being pro-abortion.
I think the story I would go to is the story of Mary. Mary is probably my favorite figure in the Bible, the mother of Jesus. And, you know, she's an oppressed peasant, teenage girl living in poverty under an oppressive empire as a Jew. And she has a vision from God that she's going to give birth to a baby who's going to bring the powerful down from their thrones, going to scatter the proud, who's going to send the rich away empty. I mean, this revolutionary song that she sings, it's called the Magnificat. And it's actually been banned by certain authoritarian regimes because it is so radical. But I say all this in context of abortion because before God comes over Mary and we have the incarnation, God asks for Mary's consent, which is remarkable. I mean, go back and read this in Luke. I mean, the angel comes down and asks Mary if this is something she wants to do. And she says, if it is God's will, let it be done. Let it be. Let it happen. So to me, that is an affirmation in one of our most central stories that creation has to be done with consent. You cannot force someone to create. Creation is one of the most sacred acts that we engage in as human beings. But that has to be done with consent. It has to be done with freedom. And to me, that is absolutely consistent with the ministry and life and death of Jesus. And so that's how I come down on that side of the issue. Again, I'm very open for my fellow Christians to disagree with that, and they may have scriptural passages they point to be anti-abortion. And I think that's a debate that we should feel comfortable having. All I'm saying is that it shouldn't be assumed that just because you're a Christian, you are anti-gay or anti-abortion, because there are so many Christians out there who don't subscribe to either of those policy positions.
Here's Andy Beshear talking to voters.
It's a little bit of the advocacy speak, and it was meant for the right reasons. Right? It was meant to decrease stigma, but we don't decrease stigma by changing words. We decrease stigma by changing hearts. And when we start changing and sanitizing our language, things have less meaning. And I'll give you an example that's personal to me. In Kentucky, we are hit by the opioid crisis harder than just about any other state. Every Kentuckian, including myself, knows about a dozen people that are no longer with us, a child of God taken far too soon. I didn't lose one of my friends to substance use disorder. I lost them all to addiction. Addiction is mean. It's nasty. It's hard to beat. It kills people. And when you lose somebody, when you talk about losing them to addiction, you feel it. But how about the other side? When someone triumphs over addiction, they've beaten something that is so hard and so deadly, it gives them the triumph that they deserve. And because we've approached it that way in Kentucky, thank God, we saw a 30% decrease in drug overdose deaths last year. Let me give you another example. That big ugly bill is not only going to gut rural health care and hit our rural economies, It's going to decrease food assistance all over this country. We're not going to be able to change and push back on that if we say it's going to increase food insecurity. What it's going to do is make people go hungry. They're going to feel hunger pains at night when they go to bed, and hunger pains when they wake up in the morning. And remember, the two groups most at risk for hunger, and the two groups covered by Medicaid the most, are our parents and our kids. We even have a new term that we're being pushed to use now. It's called justice-involved populations. Y'all know what that is? Those are our inmates. And I'm working on reducing recidivism as much as any governor in the nation. The Bible teaches me that second chance aren't just the right thing to do, they're what we're called to do. We're teaching a trade in every single Kentucky prison and trying to help people get good jobs as they leave. But you know what our inmates call themselves? Inmates. And so we've got to make sure that the ways that we're communicating as public officials and as folks that are running are the same ways you talk to your friends or your family, that our words have meaning and emotion behind them.
To the extent both of these clips have excited some of the strongest Democrats, the true base, have gone viral, I feel like it comes out of more of a desperation to get Trump out than actual resonance with the party, its values, and its future. Because, first of all, neither of these individuals are particularly charismatic or outgoing. It's just not the case. And I think we're really at a point in politics where we do need somebody that can hold attention and hold a camera. So yes, is it good to see this in one viral clip? Sure, but do people want a sermon from Talarico every day on a campaign trail? I highly doubt it. And frankly, I don't think it's that exciting to the base of the party, or especially not younger, more liberal voters, to have every single answer grounded in deep faith. There's a lot of non-religious voters out there, and that's certainly the way that politics has been trending for the last decade plus. And the takeaway of this video is not to say that these two examples are good or that they're bad. I think they are a model of how to reach a certain type of voter, but not the certain type of voter that's going to guarantee that Democrats win the election, because you have to bring along a coalition. And centering this deeply Christian, Southern style, white male type of political candidate obviously is going to appeal to certain people that Kamala Harris was not going to reach. I can give you that. But again, I just don't think we need to overhype people as heroes and anoint them as candidates for 2028 or whatever the conversation is, based off of a few viral clips and a technique that is breaking through, yes, what the traditional narratives we've seen are, but of course are a fad of the moment. Anyways, like and subscribe for more analysis, and let me know what you think in the comments.